to act. Your mind, it is like a gun. And you want to load it up with little itty bitty bullets of knowledge.
What's going on, family? It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. Alright, we getting into the BOROSCOPE energies to check out what's going on in our astrological forecast for the week. So if you're a first timer, man, y'all go ahead and stick to me. I ain't gonna be pressuring y'all to share, like, subscribe. Spirit don't work like that. This esoteric energy, if you land here, you here for a reason. If you sub for a reason. Alright, that's how energy flows, and that's how you should always direct things with anything you do in life. You put your natural pure energy out there, and that's what you're gonna receive. People that resonate with your natural pure energy. All right, so that's just a little January 2021 gem for all of y'all. I ain't gonna really say Happy New Year, because the new year starts in Aries season. All right, when the sun gets up into that first house space, when the sun gets up into that constellation, that's the new year. That's the new year on the esoteric level. We under somebody's calendar right now, so we need to understand that too. We under somebody else's calendar right now when we experiencing holidays, holy days. Them days have frequency vibrations behind them. Them days have certain energies behind them. So for the most part, you got to make your own holidays. You got to make sure you celebrate yourself every day, every month, every year. Okay, but let's get into these energies, family. You already know what it is. We getting into the influences from January 3rd to January 9th, okay? So let's get right into it. January 3rd, Sunday. Alright, we got the sun in Capricorn. Alright, we still early in Cap season and all that. It's gonna be 13 degrees on Sunday. I'm recording this right now on Saturday, but it's gonna be 13 degrees on Sunday. You feel me? Then we got the moon sliding into Virgo tomorrow. So this moon in Leo transit, okay? Creativity was really on the mind. People wanted to dive into different forms of expressing themselves, whether it was expressing themselves in their relationships or personally to other people in their lives, or actually diving into some forms of entertainment, actually doing certain things that help them to cultivate their creativity in real life time, to get real hands-on with it. Moon and Leo influence is always going to bring that. Alright, my Leo moons is always charged up to dive into what they're creatively paying attention to. Right? There's never a I'm good. When the Leo sun moon rise and say I'm good, like, nah, I don't want to do that today, bro, or I ain't trying to boom boom boom. When it's some creative shit they always into, stay by your Leo friend. Stay by them for a good 3 to 9 days. Alright, cause something ain't up. I tell you that straight up. Alright, there's a couple of signs out here that, you know, there's a couple of signs out here, yeah, that do, you know, lean more so on a positive frequency vibration. There's some signs that may lean more so on a negative frequency vibration. Alright, now when I say positive and negative, the negative outlook and frequency vibration can still be utilized in positive ways. The positive frequency vibration outlook can be utilized in negative ways. So it's like there's always a balancing spectrum, it's an opposite spectrum to everything. Okay, and then like for example, I'm a Mercury in Scorpio. Alright, I'm a Mercury in Scorpio, so when Mercury is in water, it's already slowing up because the mind be on feelings and emotions. We know water is dealing with the past, so you could have your mind on your thoughts a lot. Whenever we just got out of a Mercury in Scorpio transit not too long ago. Alright, not too long ago. And our mind was all up on our desires and our deep emotions about things, past traumas and things we want to transform. So for the most part, with the energies of Scorpio, with certain malefic influences, we got Mars, Pluto in there. A lot of Scorpios can look at things negatively to see the positive. It's almost like a mechanism to help them feel like they secure certain things. You may look at a Virgo too. You may look at a Virgo like a Virgo's real, what's the word? Like very tedious, very picky, very antsy, seeing a lot of things, once again, nervous like that Mercury influence there. So you may be dealing with a Virgo and it comes off negative, but understand part of that be their mechanism to make sure they see all the details of things. Make sure they scope out their environment. Make sure they feel like they're organized with the things they're approaching to do or about to do with you. All right. So is always gotta see both sides to everything, family. Always gotta see both sides to everything. So for the most part, you know, we got the moon moving into Virgo. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to remember where I came from with this whole thought, because we were talking about the moon in Leo. So once again, yeah, we were this weekend, coming into the weekend at least, we were all dealing with some type of, you know, creative surge, wanting to, and then it's fire too. Whenever the moon is transiting fire, you're gonna feel that, you know, self-inspiration type of influence. Okay, now with the moon transiting into Virgo, we know the moon is dealing with reacting and responding. So when the moon is transiting into Virgo, Virgo's dealing with mutable earth energy ruled by Mercury. So being adaptable towards how other people are working and stabilizing things and building a foundation and scheduling things in their lives or within the external realm, and seeing how you can adapt, how you can implement some of these things that you peep out in the external realm to add on to how you working on things, to how you're going about career, how you're building a foundation, how you're stabilizing certain relationships in your life. All right, how you're able to take an example from the external realm and make your personal example more refined, more efficient. Okay, so and you know that mutable energy knows how to seek resources. That's another thing too about mutable energy. So you talk about Virgos, Sagittariuses, Pisces, and Geminis. You know, they're gonna do it in different ways, but Virgos know how to seek resources by how they see other people work on things, or how other people are connected in certain industries, fields, and how they be able to keep relationships to understand how to just get some information. It's Mercury here, how to get some information from this person at work here, or information from that person at work here, or this resource from that's how Virgos is thinking. That's how they thinking. Then you got the Sagittariuses, you feel me? Sagittarius is mutable fire, so they're always in a state of being expressive of some energy, internal energies of things that they've learned, things that they've experienced. Okay, their knowledge and wisdom about something, their beliefs and faith about something. So with Sagittarius always been in that energy, it always needs a other party to enlighten for the most part, and also mutable energies like receiving the energy too. So it could be you know, likes being taught, likes being sparked, likes being inspired. Fire signs love the gas. Fire signs love when people throw wood on the fire. So for the most part, you know, Sagittarius is going to be able to seek resources from those that they've enlightened, from the certain perspective that they may spark to others. That's just how people may gravitate towards the Sagittarius, just to feel that warmth, to feel that wisdom, to feel that awareness, to feel like they're getting a broader perspective of how they look at something. Sagittarius is going to be able to break things down in that type of way. All right, because they're able to see the broad perspective. It's Jupiter energy. So, and I could do the Gemini and what's the other mutable sign? I did Sagittarius. Oh, Pisces. Gemini and Pisces. You know, Pisces do it with the emotions, Gemini do it with relationships. Okay, but when we talk about Virgo, it's mutable earth. So right now, first of all, is earth element. We reacting and responding to forms of stability, structure, and how we organizing things, but more on a tedious level, more of the details of things, really looking at our day-to-day routine, seeing how we divide our time. I said in my I had said in a previous reading not too long ago, I can't remember if it was the new moon or Sagittarius reading, or I can't remember if it was a reading I did for my patrons, but for the most part, check out my Patreon, y'all. But for the most part, there's gonna be a heavy influence. There's gonna be a heavy influence of reality stepping right into the year. We in the midst of it right now. All right, so with the moon transit in Virgo, we will be experiencing the Earth trine. When we talk about trines, this is when 3 planets or all element signs are aligned through planetary alignment. So this is when we got planets in all earth signs or all air signs, all water signs. This will be a trine. And you know, trines are more positive alignments, harmonious alignments that create opportunities. So with us being influenced to react and respond to our day-to-day routine, how we're, you know, being technical about structuring things in our life, Moon transit in Virgo is gonna have an influence of you looking at your sense of service. How are you servicing the things that you value? If you value something, how do you service that? How do you work on that? How do you schedule that? How do you put it into some type of routine to bring it into fruition? All right. And what service do you feel like you have to offer to the world? How do you service in your relationships or some? How do you play a counterpart in building and working on something when the moon is transiting Virgo? So we're gonna have the moon in Virgo. We're gonna have Mercury, Pluto, and the sun in Capricorn. Okay, and we're gonna have Uranus in Taurus. So we're gonna have a grand Earth trine. All Earth signs will be filled up. When we talk about the trines, they represent opportunities. This is a grand Earth trine. So when we look at the grand Earth trine, we want to see what element it is, because we know it's going to deal with opportunities, but us understanding the element is going to help us to understand where these opportunities are going to be coming from. These opportunities is in Earth, so they're going to be dealing with forms of stability. There's going to be opportunities to have a new awareness, new ideas about stability, okay? New ways to react and respond to how you've been scheduling and organizing things. New ways to cultivate how you're able to step into more of an authoritative or individual role within your career or what you're working on. It's a lot of opportunities to blossom out of a grand Earth trine. Grand Earth trines are very powerful. So for a lot of y'all that have trines for the most part create opportunities on their own. When we talk about a grand Earth trine, okay, this is a unison of energy, okay, between all three constellations of the same element. Okay, so by default, all three energies are going to be able to relate to each other because they're all going to be dealing with the same element. They're separated by different modalities, planetary influences, and whatnot. But overall, this is what we all going to be experiencing. We all going to be experiencing opportunities to build, to connect to others, to build, to develop certain ideas or develop certain perspectives to help us attack how we're trying to build more of a structure in our life right now. Reality was the theme coming into 2021 and is going to be the theme for the rest of the year. How do you go about structuring your own reality, or do you need somebody else to structure your own reality? And leaving it up to the people that's going to do that, you don't want to deal with all of that. Part of being on your spiritual path is helping you understand how you're able to cultivate what you got going on within to help the external. Too much of us are seeking outside. Too much of us are seeking what's on the news. We're seeking what's on our screen. We're seeing what's on our timeline. You basing things off yourself based off all of them things is always going to keep you lost. It's always going to keep you somewhat mentally and spiritually scrambled. This is why I say there's a thin line between solitude and walking your spiritual path. A lot of the times we be creating blockages and whatnot, connecting to our gifts that we brought here, connecting to certain energies to help us manifest opportunities that we brought here based off of what we got lost paying attention to, attaching ourselves to, connecting to. And in this realm, it could be anything. It could be love, greed, lust, all right, your desires. Okay, so for the most part, this is just what we always want to keep in mind. But there is going to be opportunities for us to get some realignment, to lay some more solid ass bricks right now when it comes to business structure and organizing things in our life right now. For a lot of us, first of all, you want to see what houses in your natal chart you have where your earth signs are at. You want to see where your earth signs are at, because these going to be the areas of life. You want to see where Capricorn is at, where Taurus is at, and where Virgo is at. These going to be the areas of life where, you know, you may catch influences of things springing out for opportunities to connect to maybe somebody in the external realm, or something that you bring your own self and awareness to, that you see how you can navigate career or whatnot. So this is what we want to pay attention to. Now, so that's the energy we dealing with in Sunday. You know, the moon moving into Virgo and whatnot. May go live to break down that energy some more. I haven't been going live like that on YouTube, because you know I use my camera to record, but for the most part, you know, when I go live, if I don't have a battery adapter connected to it, it's gonna cut off. I ended up ordering the wrong battery adapter by accident, so I'm waiting for this new adapter to come in. But you know, if I get a chance to go live, definitely gonna go in some more on this trine. But overall, you know, to help us juice that trine, extract that trine, understand that we're putting ourselves more in a state of alignment for opportunities with this trine, the more we can react and respond in an efficient manner with that moon in Virgo. Once again, the moon transits is the emotional well-being of the universe we live in. So when the moon is transiting in a sign, no matter what your moon sign is, the more you can correlate your reactions to that energy, the more we can have a smoother day, a prosperous day, okay? Not saying that you have to be super in that energy just to have a great day, but making sure you can have increments and part of your day where you're making sure you're reacting and responding to that influence. The universe wants us to react and respond to that energy for us to be in alignment. So when we got the moon in Virgo, what is your day-to-day routine been like? Have you had any type of, you know, once again, I ain't for all the huge 2021 New Year stuff, even though it is a new frequency vibration. But for the most part, you know, coming into this new year, what is your sense of scheduling like? What is your sense of organization like? What responsibilities are on your to-do list that you have to check off that haven't been getting checked off for whatever reason? What are the things in your routine, in your schedule, that are restricting you or playing as blockages from things that you want to work on, from certain responsibilities? If you're in a career right now, workplace, that you don't resonate with right now, what are you doing with your time management to start structuring a new reality, to bring your idea, to bring something from the esoteric realm down here as a form of stability? How are you constructing that time that you do have when you're not, you know, having your time restricted because you got to do what you got to do, okay? Reality, time management. I said this in another reading, that previous reading, universe is really seeing who honors time management right now. And listen, I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra, so for one, off rip, we ain't good with time management. And then two, just because it's air and it is motherfucking Venus, so Venus just be appreciating and supporting what she want to get, her pleasures and whatnot. And when it's time to get shit in order, air might be too entertaining too much. And then I got Saturn in the first house, so just that alignment, you would think that it does influence somebody to have more, you know, more of an organized approach to things in their personal life, more of a practical approach to things in their personal life. But Saturn's still debilitated in that house. That is the Aries house. So when we talk about fire houses, you know, fire burns through reality. Fire is more of a futuristic energy. Fire, you know, it could burn bridges, you know, could be ahead of itself. So Saturn is more so dealing with structure, time, organization. So you got my Saturn there. You know, sometimes when you got Saturn and fire sign, Saturn and Aries specifically, though, it plays out debilitations, which you see in reality a little unrealistic. It can play out with a little bit of time management. You having problems with time management. You always speeding up, having to do things. But I'm over here breaking down my motherfucking flaws in my natal chart, whatnot, my lessons and shit. Okay, that don't go for everybody with Saturn in the first house too, because there's alignments that come with that too. All right, you know, every energy plays a part. So, you know, y'all be like that. That don't sound like my moon sign. That don't sound like my sun sign. And you ain't checking out them aspects. You don't understand how the influence of the house that is in, how that plays out. You know, how that's influencing the tool that you're talking about. You know, it's a very divine science that we're dealing with. So we want to make sure we reacting and responding. We still on Sunday. We want to make sure we reacting and responding to that moon in Virgo energy. All right. Now moving on to Monday, January 4th. All right. As the moon is transiting Virgo, all right, it's gonna square Venus and Sagittarius. So we know Virgo and Sagittarius square each other. Sagittarius is that mutable fire energy ruled by Jupiter, the spread of the knowledge and wisdom, the warmth, spread of the knowledge and wisdom, the enlightenment, all right, the education being expressed or whatnot. Then we got, and that's a we know fire. You ain't putting fire in no box, so we know it's free spirited, all right. It don't do cages, it don't do restrictions. But then we got Virgo over here that's dealing with some form of organization, some form of structure, so some form of order. So this is what Sagittarius and Virgo got to learn from each other. Virgo has to learn to be a little free-flowish, a little spontaneous at times. Drop they shoulders sometimes. I used to have a masseuse in college. I don't even call him a masseuse. He was really he did a bunch of things. He teached at the school. He did a couple things, but he used to give us. He used to, what's the name of it? It's called Alexander Treatment Massage. So it's a massage technique, but it's you do it alongside with, you know, certain posture exercises, you know, stretching exercises. So for the most part, that's what that used to be his phrase all the time. He used to see me and my teammates and whatever. He like, yo, drop your shoulders, bro. So I was like, damn, you be tense as hell all day. Like, niggas be want to be gangster all day. Like, drop your motherfucking shoulders. Fuck wrong with you? Like, drop your shoulders. Relax, bro. So yeah, that's what you got to understand with you know, Sagittarius and the Virgo square. Sagittarius and Pisces be teaching Virgo, drop your shoulders, Virgo. Yo, tense ass. You always gotta see what's next ass. Yo, ooh, I can't step on the crack in the cement ass. Like, just keep walking like your superstitious ass. I'm even gonna call Virgo superstitious, more tedious and you know, striving for that perfection. That's why the nervousness energy comes in, because that's such a high standard for perfection they have. But Virgo be having to teach Sagittarius, all right? Virgo be having to teach Sagittarius, like, yo, Sag, if you don't get your spontaneous, free-spirited ass, some form of organization in your life, if you don't find something to cultivate all that knowledge and wisdom you have to build something solid and concrete in your life, what's all of that? What's all that preaching, teaching for you? What's your sense of security? What's your sense of organization? You're looking a little scattered over there, Sag, all right? How's spirituality helping you build any foundation in your life over there, Sag? So that's like this is what Virgo and Sag need to learn from each other. All right, that's that square. So as the moon transits Virgo, we're gonna have that square on Monday. Okay, so it's us reacting and responding more so to our values, reacting and responding more so to how we love. Right now, with the moon square and Venus, whenever we got moon and Venus and squares are opposites in conjunctions, we got mom and the daughter. We got the moon. Ultimate emotional stability tool, and the tool that breaks down the feelings and catches the pleasures and what it likes and loves. When we don't got them two on the same page, it's like, ah. For some of y'all that lived in big families, when your mom beefing with your sister or something, I don't got a sister, but when you got them you know, the mama-daughter wars. When you got the mama-daughter wars in the house, the vibes be intense. Dealing with them high vibes, dealing with them intense, riled up vibes, the mother-daughter rivalries. So for the most part, this is the type of influence we gonna be picking up. We gonna be feeling type of influence where we gotta react and respond to our forms of, you know, that free-spirited nature with what we love. Once again, now we're reacting. The moon is transiting Virgo, so we want to still continue to react and respond to our structure, organization, but whenever we talk about squares, we have to make sure these two energies work for each other. We have to make sure these two energies complement each other and they have something to give each other. So with this type of alignment, you know, we got to make sure that the way that we look at structure, look at how we go about scheduling in our life, look at our responsibilities, all that Virgo earth element, the details that's needed to keep things in order in our life with our day-to-day routine and how we organize things. How does our values, people, places, and things that we value, that we like, that we love, that we find pleasure in, how do these things support what we're trying to structure, what we're trying to organize? The amount of detail and order that we need, you know, within our career, what we're working on. How do these things complement each other? How do these things play out blockages? How does your values play out blockages? Your pleasures, person, place, or thing play out blockages for what you know you should be reacting and responding to build more structure in your life, to have more order in your to have more order in your routine. So this is like what this square got to learn from each other. And the moon's dealing with your emotional stability. Venus is dealing with your feelings as well. Venus dealing with you like, love, your pleasures. You feel me? So it's like, this is going to be a time where it could be a little emotional, frustrating. It could be a time it could be a little emotional, frustrating. With this type of alignment, y'all, don't go out your way to try to find out something in your relationship because of a sensation, because of something you picked up on. Like, let it play out, let things come to you, if that's the sense. Y'all know we be catching y'all know y'all catch that little gut instinct, subconscious feel when something's going on. You just can't put you can't just put the detail on it. You ain't got the evidence. But this type of alignment will make you feel like you gotta react and respond to how you feel. That could put everything at detriment. You could put yourself in a situation right now where somebody did play you or do something in a relationship. You called a subconscious, feel about it, didn't know what it is, but you done burnt the situation. The person end up breaking up with your ass, breaking up with you, and you ain't even get to find out what was going on. Like, that person just took all the power and control and just did you dirty. You ain't even get to get the closure and whatnot, because it's just, we got Venus in that fire energy dealing with expression, and we got the moon wanting to get things in order right now in Virgo. Virgo moons can be some of the most restless. I did a reading earlier today, and the reading I did, what placement they had? Not Virgo moon, they had the moon in the 6th house. But Virgo moon can be a very restless placement. Guys, always feel like you gotta work on something. Always feel like something's not in alignment. Always feel like there's a detail you can get to look more polished about something. So when we have that influence with the moon in Virgo, but then now it's having to learn from our love matters. That's in Sagittarius. That's just want to be free spirit right now, and just wants to connect to everything that we want to, all our values, connecting to our forms of spirituality, our beliefs, our faith. Being in Sagittarius, we can play out all type of situations where our feelings and emotions just not having Venus and the moon on the same page. So let's be careful we not be impulsive with the emotions in this type of state. We just got out of an impulsive week, okay? We had we stepped into Sun trining Uranus, so right now a lot of people actions are still impulsive based off on how they see things. This is something that we said we were going to be dealing with the energies during Capricorn season in the last BOROSCOPE reading. All right, so that's what we're going to be dealing with on Monday. Moon will square Venus. Okay, Jupiter will start to semi-square Neptune. So when we look at Jupiter and Neptune, all right, they like this. Jupiter and Neptune like this. All right, so Jupiter, they're both dealing with spiritual abstract energies. Jupiter's more so dealing with, first of all, when we look at Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, these are generational planets. The distance where they're at is way farther. They're making their way out of the solar system for the most part. They're older than, these other stars that's closer to us. There's other planets that's influencing us closer. So whenever we look at, you can look at Neptune as the higher octave of Jupiter. All right, you could look at Pluto as the higher octave of Mars, and then Uranus, Uranus over there being this individual ass self over there. However, and they're all co-rulers. So Pluto co-rules Scorpio 50%, Neptune co-rules Pisces 50%, Uranus co-rules Aquarius 50%. None of them co-rule 100%, once again because of distance. Now, with Jupiter squaring Neptune, Jupiter is dealing with our knowledge and our wisdom, but it's dealing with our experiences, how we learn from our experiences and bring spiritual expansion from there. All right. Neptune is dealing with, I like to say our creative source, how we tap into our creative source. All right. More of our abstract thoughts, how we connect to things abstract out of this realm. When we talk about Neptune, more of our imagination-like energies, more so dealing with faith, belief, okay, your intuition. When we talk about Neptune, so when you got these two planets squaring, This type of energy is gonna have us second questioning things in our spiritual path, overthinking things from our experiences. It's gonna be a little bit of what's the word? What's the opposite of clarity? It's gonna be like some spiritual clutter, all right, going on when we start to look at things from our experiences or whatnot. So with this type of energy, you know, Jupiter and square Neptune, it could just have you a little esoterically, like a little caught up in the wind a little bit with this type of energy. Because once again, Neptune is like the higher octave of Jupiter. So they're both home in the 12th house that's dealing with our dreams, fantasies, and our imagination, the subconscious house, karma, life after death. So when we got Jupiter and Neptune squaring, they're both having to learn from each other. So the way that we're trying to have Jupiter learn from Neptune, they're both spiritual energies, but Jupiter is dealing more so with your experiences here. Neptune is dealing with how you tap into more subconscious energies. So that energy, in that alignment alone, them trying to learn from each other in the square can cause energies where there's some friction, just you pondering on things in your spiritual path. There's some friction with you just trying to reflect and extract what the meaning and reasoning to a relationship or a personal experience means. So don't overthink anything dealing with things in your spiritual path. Once again, let things flow to you, family. Let signs provide itself. If you think it's a sign, it's a sign. All right. Y'all be having universe send y'all 10,000 signs. So what the universe saying? Like, every time I send you a sign, you looking at it like it's not a sign. Like, you questioning me if it's a sign. Like, come on, bro. Nigga, if it's a sign that made you feel something, made you think something, that motherfucker's a sign. So when it comes to Jupiter and Neptune clashing each other, we're gonna have to learn to take this energy, and it's only gonna be a semi-square, so it won't be feeling as hard until they really square each other. But for the most part, you know, we're gonna be an influence throughout, you know, the start of this week, where it just maybe a little bit of subconscious clutter, all right? You know, where you might start sizing up things dealing like with your purpose, or you know, your spiritual growth and what you're supposed to be learning. Don't overwhelm yourself with any of these type of energies this week, okay? Now, on Tuesday, Moon will enter Libra. So first of all, with the Moon entering Virgo on Sunday, we want to know that it's gonna be squaring all the mutable signs, all right? So it's going to be squaring my Sagittarius, it's going to be squaring my Geminis, it's going to be opposite to my Pisces. Alright, so y'all just understand on Sunday when y'all wake up in the morning, you feel me, you ain't feeling the vibe like that, you just know you being squared right now. So y'all all got to learn to react and respond more practically to your responsibilities, to what you're working on, to career, to what needs to be serviced in your life. Now, when we get the Moon in Libra, this energy is going to be squaring all the cardinal energies. So it's going to be squaring Capricorn, it's going to be squaring Cancer, it's going to be opposite Aries. So my cardinal signs throughout the week, you know, make sure y'all ain't flipping on nobody with y'all aggressive ass energies, with y'all leader like ass energies. Everything's got to go y'all way. I ain't going to call y'all stubborn. I ain't going to call it. No, I'm bugging out. We got some stubborn ass motherfucking all of y'all could be stubborn. All of y'all could be stubborn. Aries, Cancers. Oh my goodness. Y'all cardinal signs want to be the leaders, want to initiate, want to will things in. So Moon is transiting Libra. This is the leader of communication, but one-on-one communication, the leader of how we relate on a one-on-one level. So that's the thing with Libras too. You could talk all that balance, harmony shit, but when it comes into conversation, when it comes into relationships, Libra want the upper hand. Libras want to make sure that they leading something, that they have some type of initiate role in a relationship, that's respected and honored. Like, best believe it. Best believe it. And the female Libra women, they know how to get some type of real authority, or demand more authority subconsciously in relationships about how they communicate, how they relate to you, how they insert certain things, make sure they express certain things in a timely manner, to make sure they threw that word, that statement out in the air. You feel it's deep. It's deep. All right. But there's all type of role reversals going on in relationships nowadays. Like I'm the lucky Libra, so when we start talking about relationships, I'll go there. Alright, but the moon gonna be in Libra, so we all want to be reacting and responding to how we connect to others on a one-on-one level. We all want to be reacting and responding to the sense of balance within our, one-on-one relationships. We want to be more relatable, more sociable, entertain more conversation. Whenever the moon is traveling air, what is air dealing with? Logic, information, the intellect, communication. So us aligning, reacting, and responding to more of these energies, you don't know what opportunity is going to pop up. You don't know what you just may learn. Cancers, Aries, Capricorns, all right? So, but that goes for everybody. I just had to point out them squares and opposites. Now, with the moon entering Libra on the 5th, okay, on Tuesday, this will create a trine alignment with Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, all right? So we know the air signs trine each other, Aquarius and Libra. Libra's cardinal air, Aquarius is fixed air. So while you have Libras that want to push out the new idea for other people to think about and relate, Aquarius have an individual and detached way of thinking from the collective. So when you ask the Aquarius, it ain't so much the way it think or the way it's perceiving what the conversation is or what the group is talking about. Is gonna have a idea that is separated and detached from everybody else's. That's what makes Aquarius is unique. All right. So with this type of alignment, we already understand the influences that's aligning with Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. If you haven't checked out my great conjunction video, go ahead and check it out. But for the most part, we're gonna truly have opportunities to react and respond to our relationships in a state where we're gonna be able to connect, more subconscious energies. We're gonna be able to, connect to others with things dealing with more abstract thought. All right, I'm around this weekend. Or not this weekend, because that's going to be on Tuesday. When the moon moves into Libra through the middle of the week, keep an eye out on social media. All right, social media may be a little. Maybe I'm just assuming something gonna go down this week on social media. Everybody's gonna be reacting and responding to. Nothing negative or bad or anything, but just maybe a viral moment, a lit moment, just because it's energy where we're all reacting and responding to our logic about things. But Aquarius has that emphasis on social media, technology, and a lot of that energy with Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius is dealing with how we're utilizing different energies, different communication methods. All right, so yeah, so the moon is going to be trining Saturn and Jupiter. We're gonna be able to react and respond to our knowledge and our wisdom and our sense of reality, but being able to have that realized and that awareness gained through communication, through relating to others. There's gonna be a bunch of opportunities to grow these things when we walk into this trine with the moon in Libra on Tuesday. And then when we get into Wednesday, January 6th, Mars is moving into Aries. All right, so we done had Mars in I said Mars moving to Aries. Mars moving into Taurus. Alright, let me just bop myself on the head for that one. But for the most part, with Mars moving into Taurus, we just had Mars in Aries for some time now. Alright, longer than it's usually in there. It was in there for about 6 months. Alright, that doesn't usually happen. So when we look at Mars going into Taurus, the theme about Mars in Aries was giving birth to a new passion. Okay, was being able to take action on new motivations. All right, having a new ways of expressing yourself, creatively expressing yourself. Like, these are the things we wanted to be giving birth to, giving life to. Whenever we look at Aries, the first conversation, first constellation, the first house space, this is new life. This is the baby. This is the the willing in of the fire, of the vision, the sight. So of the awareness, that's what I meant to say. But so for the most part, when we have Mars in here, this is what we were supposed to be doing these past this year with Mars and Aries, giving birth to new ways of expressing ourselves, new motivations, passions, and our personal outlook on the world, and how we personally assert ourselves. with Mars moving into Taurus this week, you know, I've been saying this in my transit readings, I've been saying this in the past couple of readings. When Mars gets into Taurus, this is not going to be a time to just be, you know, super starting a whole bunch of new things. You want to have some form of a passion, a goal, a motivation that you're watering at this point, that is in motion at this point. Mars is debilitated in Taurus and don't like being in Taurus. All right? Mars don't like being in Taurus. So for the most part, Mars got to deal with patience in Taurus. It got to learn that anything that needs something to grow is going to take some time and patience, and Mars, that ain't Mars' best qualities. So with this period, we're going to have to be learning with Mars and Taurus. We're going to have to learn to get more situated with our passions, have more patience with our passion. All right? Learn to transform things gradually, not forcefully, not aggressively. Okay? So these are the things we're going to have to understand with Mars and Taurus. But it's going to be more of a, you know, for people that feel like they haven't planted new seeds or haven't set new intentions on their new passions or whatnot, this is when this shift is going to start feeling a little frustrating, because it could play out energies where other people are seeming like they're living in their passions or in the motion with their passions, or you're trying to connect to others or connect to things in the external realm, and people involved with what they got going on with their own passions and desires. You know, they're on the course of these things, and you want to make sure you have what you're on the course with your passion, with that new passion you gave birth to. So that's like the energies we're dealing with Mars and Taurus. I'll be making a separate video talking about that energy transiting our houses and how it's going to be affecting all zodiac signs. Thursday, January 7th, we got the moon sextiling Venus, all right, as it's transiting into Scorpio. All right, so we're gonna have the moon transiting Libra, all right, reacting and responding to how we connect to others on a one-on-one level, our relationships, or how we are socializing, all right, how we're embracing, you know, connecting others on a one-on-one level, expressing, you know, our ideas. But we got Venus in Sagittarius, all right? We know Libra is sextile Sagittarius. So when the moon is transiting in Libra and it's sextile in Sagittarius, now we just went from reacting and responding in a square earlier in the week to now we sextiling Venus. And this is why with the moon transits with Venus, we can't be reacting and responding just based off of the feel of things, okay? Fire signs, watch out when the moon squares Venus in Sagittarius on Monday. But with this type of alignment, the moon gonna be transiting Libra. The moon gonna be transiting Libra. So whenever the moon transiting Libra, this is a time to mend anything dealing with relationships. When the moon is transiting air, period. But Libra is definitely a time to mend relationships. You know, find balanced grounds. Be able to, you know, resolve any form of turbulence or drama or whatnot within relationships. So you could go from being impulsive early in the week to now the moon is sextiling Venus in Libra and Sagittarius, two very positive upbeat alignments, two alignments that don't like heavy emotion, Libras and Sagittarius constellation alone. Libra's more of a you know, high energy, all right, wants to bring the message high for everybody to see on the same playing field, but it got that Venus influence, all right, dealing with valuing somebody else's input, what you like, what you love, what you appreciate, what you support. Jupiter, that Sagittarius energy. Jupiter is an optimistic energy. It wants to expand wherever it's at. It wants to learn. It wants to experience wherever it's at. Okay, so for the most part, we easily gonna have a sextile with the way we react and respond to the world being influenced to align with what we value, what we want to connect to. So you can be impulsive early in the week and then find yourself going into the weekend apologizing for the way you was acting earlier in the week just because the moon done hit Venus that quick with that many from a square to a sextile in the same week. All right, family, so it's like, this is why we got to understand the energies we be dealing with. Now Friday, all right, we got the moon gonna be all up in Scorpio. Well, the moon's gonna move into Scorpio on the 7th, on Thursday. Okay, when the moon moves into Scorpio, now we're dealing with reacting and responding to our deep emotions, our deep you know, the emotions that we just threw in the closet, threw under the bed, all right, buried down. When the moon transits Scorpio, it's time to see how these emotions is doing. It's time to see how these thoughts and you know, feelings that we thought we buried or we thought we ain't really have to do, it's time to see how they doing. it's time to read and be more in tune, and you know, be more consciously aware. I don't want to say consciously aware, that's more so dealing with the sun, but react and respond more to your subconscious state, how you feel about things, your deep motivations and passions, how these things have been aligned coming into the new year so far. All right, it's gonna, when the moon transits Scorpio, moon is debilitated here, so it could be an uncomfortable time dealing with, you know, relating the feelings and emotions, expressing the feelings and emotions. You know, a lot of times with that moon in Scorpio, moon in Capricorn energy is like, especially if you squaring it or opposite or some shit. You know, when we got the moon transiting them debilitated houses, it damn near be feeling like those be the days sometimes you wake up, you don't even know what the fuck, ain't nothing wrong. It's just, it's like, damn, something a little iffy. Like, it's a little, I feel a little uncomfortable just tapping into anything inside. Like, it's a little, I kind of don't feel like reacting or responding to shit today. So for the most part, you're gonna have them influences with the moon transit in Scorpio and Capricorn, but you is gonna be reacting and responding to your passions. You is gonna be influenced to react and respond to, you know, anything that you do have an emotional intent in, anything that you are emotionally connected to, any person, place, or thing that does play out as a form of desire that you're emotionally connected to. So that's like the energies, you know, when we're dealing with the moon transit in Scorpio on Thursday going into the weekend. Friday, January 8th, we're going to have the moon sextile in Pluto. So we got Pluto in Capricorn. We know Capricorn, Scorpio sextile each other. I like to say, you know, this sextile is like the practical motivator. So for the most part, you know, Capricorn and Scorpios get together, you know, real practical, real reserved energies dealing with water, earth. Capricorn dealing more so with, you know, building that legacy, career, social status, structure, and how it's working on them things, how it's presenting and broadcasting these things to the world. Scorpio dealing with that heavy emotion, that deep passion, all right? It's dealing with, you know, moving behind the scenes, more spiritual energy, dealing with esoteric, occult-like knowledge and wisdom, dealing with more stealth, all right? So for the most part, when these energies come together, it's like Scorpio be putting Capricorn on to shit behind the scenes, all right? Water always helps the earth signs transform, loosen up more. Scorpio is dealing with transformation. This is another reason why we may feel a little uncomfortable, because it may be influences to motherfucking transform some emotions that you don't need to be carrying. Some emotions that you don't need to be having as a burden on you. Alright, you done kept it deep, you done threw it in the closet. Now the moon is transiting Scorpio. It's time to react and respond to it. Do what you gotta do with it. Can you cultivate it into something? Alright? Is it an emotion that needs to be expired and not, you need to make sure you throw it up, you know, off your ship so it don't, you know, sink you in any type of way? Because we be sinking into our emotions, into our vibrations. So this is what we want to pay attention when the moon transits Scorpio. But when we have this sextile to Pluto, all right, Pluto dealing with transformation. Pluto been in Capricorn transformation shit, been transforming shit all willy-nilly the past 2 years. So for the most part, this is going to be an influence to go into the weekend to place some intent on what we want to put, what we want to transform by our emotional intent, what we want to transform when it comes to our motivations, or what we're going to feel motivated to transform something dealing with our reality, dealing with our structure. This has been the theme of the whole year, but this mini influence, I don't want to say many because it could play out in so many different ways for a lot of us, but this influence going into the weekend. Moon reacting and responding, sextile, positive alignment, what plays out like a gift. These two energies aligning and correlating and complementing each other. So this weekend, going into the end of this week, you know, there's going to be some awareness about how we can react and respond to our emotions to help us deal with some things in career better, to help us deal with some things with how we're social statuses or how we're broadcasted to the world. All right. After we have this sextile with the moon transiting Scorpio with Pluto, all right, and Capricorn, you know, being able to react and respond and place more emotional intent on more of our deeper motivations and more intentions that we want to set on things that we want to transform in a long-term scale. We're going to have an influence to do these things when moon sextiles Pluto on January 8th on Friday, and then, January 8th, Friday, and then Saturday, January 9th, moon enters Sagittarius for the weekend. Alright, so we had the moon entering Leo coming into the weekend, and now we have moon entering Sagittarius next weekend. Okay, we're coming in with some creative expression this weekend, and we're going to be going into next weekend more with some expression of the knowledge and wisdom, or having that expressed to you, being enlightened, reacting and responding to things, you know, that stimulate the mind, or at least how you're able to look at your experiences, spiritually stimulate you for the most part, things that help you look at things from a new, broader, bigger perspective. So those are the energies we're going to be dealing with this week, family, from January 3rd to January 9th. I never mean for these boroscope energies to be that long, but for the most part they are that long, because I just go in my little gaps trying to drop these gems here and there, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing never wrong with that. Alright, so if you're new here and you actually stay to the end, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that. Check out my Patreon, and until next time, family, peace.